So what have you been playing this week, bro?
Aw, you know I've been playing some Call of Warzone, dude. Some friggin' Battle Frog, dude.
Or dude, same. That is so mega cool, bro. My buddy told me about this game, guy. It's called like Spiritfarer or something. Have you like heard of it or?
I would literally never cry at a video game, dude. I don't know where you're getting this from. I've literally never even heard of Spirit. That's so friggin' beautiful, bro. I don't know about you guys, but I would never cry to a video game. Crying over a video game is frankly little boy behavior, and I'm a big, strong boy. Just kidding, I cry a lot. If therapy has taught me anything, it's that crying is a great source of relief. So I would like to thank the following video games for helping me with that. Just so you guys know, I will not be spoiling any of the games that I'm talking about. I'm just gonna be explaining my experience. I also thought it would be funny to rate each game based on how much it made me cry. So get ready for that new type of review score. Also, I asked my fan house to give me a comment for you guys to leave in the comments. And Madeline said squish. So if you enjoy the video, comment squish. Okay, thanks. Also, before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that we're currently fundraising for Charity Water. They create projects around the world to deliver clean water to places that really need it. And because their organizers are paid by private donors, 100% of donations go towards the clean water projects. They also have a GPS map on their website that shows you exactly what projects were done where if you want to go check it out. They're really good about being consistently transparent about the work that they're doing. So if you'd like to donate, the link is in the description. Thank you very much. Okay, enjoy the video. Okay, here we go. Games that made me cry. Psh. The first game that ever made me cry on stream was a game called Last Day of June. You play as a husband who was recently in a car accident with his wife where she unfortunately passed away, and you discover a way to go back in time to change the events of what happened. So for instance, in the trailer, you see that the accident is caused by a little boy whose ball like flew out into the road and he's like running to go get it and they swerve. So like the first thing you'll want to do is like try to figure out a way to like deflate the ball or take it away or hide it or whatever. But more things keep continuing to happen that get in the way. So your job is to basically get everything into the right place so that you won't get in the accident. This is an indie game created by Ovosoniko. They also created Murasaki Baby, which I haven't played, but I've heard is pretty good. It was just such a beautiful game and really incredible how they managed to describe something so emotional without any facial expressions or any voice acting at all. I held up pretty well. I didn't cry at all until the very end, and then it was like of course, I'm not gonna say what happens at the end, but I just wept hard. It was the first game that's ever made me cry on stream, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know I could feel this way. I would probably rate this game 3 out of 5 big, fat, juicy tears, because even though I didn't cry at all during the game until the very end, it was like hard crying. I was like, oh, I'm not okay. I'm gonna schedule an appointment with my therapist. So play Last Day of June. It's very good. Probably the most predictable game on this list is The Last of Us 2. I'm not going to explain what The Last of Us is about because I feel like most people probably already know. I'd never seen a video game that, I hate using the word raw because it feels gross. It reminds me of like raw chicken, but like it's raw. I will say I didn't really feel emotional throughout the game just because the game is so stressful that I felt like I was in survival mode as Ellie and I didn't have time to process my sadness. In terms of crying, I think it was pretty much the same as The Last Day of June, where I did not cry throughout the entire game until the very end when there's like a brief flashing memory and then I just, it just completely sent me over the edge and I was just like, Ellie be going through a lot, dude. We're going through so much together. In terms of crying, I'd probably give Last of Us 2 like a 2 out of 5 tears. I think because it is such a stressful game, it's really hard to sit down and like process what's happened and cry because you're just trying to stay alive. There's just no time to be sad. You don't have that option. Big fuck Surprise, Spiritfarer is on this list. The only reason I didn't put it at the top of the list is because I put it at the top of my previous video about cozy games, and I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking about Spiritfarer, but I do not care. I love Spiritfarer so much. Spiritfarer is a game developed by Thunder Lotus Games about a girl named Stella who is ferrying spirits into the afterlife with her cat Daffodil. The art style is very similar to Studio Ghibli, and the characters are super lovable but complex and deal with a lot of different issues. It's really sweet and touching. I just love this game so much. Also, big thanks to Alex the Seal, who runs the fast travel like bus stations. Every single time you drive your boat up to one of them, his music is so loud and there's so much honking, and it's just... it ruins every moment of going to the Everdoor. You'll be like crying because you're about to say goodbye to a spirit, but you have to fast travel to the Everdoor, and you get up to Alex and it's just like... Now, obviously, this game tackles a very sensitive subject, which is death. Every spirit has passed from something different. So, in my opinion, if you've ever lost someone, there's probably a death that relates to you in the game. If you've ever been through loss or grief before, it's a very difficult game to even think about playing. I'll give you my experience, but I just want to say that not everyone handles grief and mourning in the same way. So, just take this as my own personal experience. I played Spiritfarer about a year after experiencing my first loss, and I found the game to be extremely therapeutic for me. So playing this game actually was very nice for me because it was nice to see death interpreted in like the most positive and uplifting light possible. Obviously, the reality of death is just that it sucks and it's heartbreaking, especially when it's someone that is really close to you or someone that you really care about. But it was nice to be able to appreciate the lighter things of death, like being able to give these spirits their favorite food to make them happy, or pictures of their family to remind them of who they love in their lives. And then to be able to be with them in their last moments is just really... I don't know, it's just really beautiful. I will say though that I would not say this entire game is sad. I would say it's like 90% managing your boat and managing the spirits and stuff, and then like 10% sad when it's time to take a spirit to the Everdoor to say goodbye. But that 10% is like... it's real sad. I wouldn't even say that I would cry every time I took a spirit to the Everdoor. I would say I like sobbed hard. It was like a hurricane of saline liquid. So I am giving Spiritfarer a 4 out of 5. Even though you don't cry throughout the entire game, the times that you do cry, it's like you might have to put the game down and like take a break. The next game on my list is the most recent game, which is Life is Strange True Colors, and this one took me completely by surprise. If you never played the Life is Strange series, it's about different protagonists who gain powers after experiencing a traumatic event. Every game follows a different protagonist and a different story, and the third game is about a girl named Alex Chen. She's been through the foster system for probably about half her life with her brother, until her brother at some point goes to juvie, and she does not see him for I think 6 or 7 years, until he finally reaches out and is like, hey, you're an adult now, come hang out with me at Haven Springs, Colorado. We'll set you up with a place to stay and you can meet all my friends and my girlfriend and just come hang out, it'll be a fun time. And even though they're strange, they had a good relationship, so they are obviously like happy to see each other. Alex's power is empathy, kind of. Something you don't see a lot these days, you guys. And the reason that she gets this power is pretty much a secret until the end of the game, but she can read strong emotions and read people's minds if they're feeling something strong. So if someone is like super angry, she can tell and she can read their minds, and she also has the power to take away those feelings, but that means that she carries the feelings herself. You can't ever really make them disappear. You spend the game basically trying to solve a mystery and learning new things about the people in town, and the people in this town are going through a lot. They're just going through it right now. This Life is Strange completely took me by surprise because in my opinion the others are not as good. My issue with the Life is Strange games in the past is the kind of disappointing voice acting. I felt in the past that a lot of the protagonists were just kind of like, oh wow, that's my old guitar. And the voice acting in this game is just, mwah. You can feel that they're crying. It is just so emotional.
I don't know what to believe now.
I wouldn't say the entire thing is sad, but there are moments throughout where you are tapping into people's minds that definitely had me like, bitch. I would say I cried probably like at least 6 times playing this on stream. I cried a lot. So I'm gonna rate this game 3 out of 5 little baby boy tears. The next game on my list is Before Your Eyes, and I hope you're ready to go right back to spirits and ferrymen because that is where we are going. The story of Before Your Eyes begins after your death, and you are a spirit on a boat being ferried by the ferry person. He is asking you a lot of things about your life, so you decide to start from the beginning and show the ferryman person wolf your entire life. This game is probably best known as the blinking game because it is a game that can connect to your webcam and register when you blink, and every time you blink, a new memory starts. However, I wouldn't really recommend playing like this. I think it's a cool function, but there are some scenes where it's really important to wait for an entire conversation to end before you blink and move on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a dry-eyed bitch. I cannot hold my eyes open for that long, okay? I cannot just leave my eyes open. So I would recommend just turning that setting off from the very beginning if you want to experience the whole thing. I think for like the first half of the game, I was like, all right, where is this going? Like, I get it. We're going through this person's life. Where's it going? And then you're kind of hit with a twist and you're like, oh, that's why we're going through this whole life. And it is very well told, in my opinion. It is a very well-paced game. I would 100% recommend anyone to play this game, although I will say that it tackles the same subject as Spiritfarer. It tackles the death and passing of someone. So obviously, if that is something you're dealing with right now, it might be a little too soon to play it, depending on where you're at and like, you know, the grieving process. I'd probably give this game 4 out of 5 saline tears because, oh my God. You think everything is just peach and dandy in the first half, and then you're like, nope, not peach and dandy, not at all. No peaches to be seen here. The last game on my list is something that I have to put in here. The Mass Effect series. This bitch makes me cry every time I play it, and I have played through this game at least 20 times on different consoles with different characters playing a different way. Mass Effect is an RPG that is very choice and story driven, where you play as Commander Shepard. At the beginning of Mass Effect 1, you're investigating an attack on a colony, and you quickly realize that this is so much bigger than just that one attack on that one world in that one system. And you realize there is a threat to the entire galaxy, and of course you are the chosen one, so it is your job to figure it out. Throughout the series, this game goes from, oh, it was just one attack on one colony, no worries, to, oh my God, we're at war, like real f***ing fast. I would also say that BioWare is just incredible at making you feel like you have a real relationship with these characters. You can build friendships and loyalties with the people that you've recruited on your ship, and even romance them if you want, depending on their sexualities and what Shepard you've chosen and what choices you make. I would say I had 3 moments specifically where every time I play through them, I cry. The first is the beginning of Mass Effect 2. It just immediately grabs you and runs with the story. Every time I watch it, I get choked up and I get goosebumps every single time. The second time I cry is the ending of the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC. This was the last DLC that BioWare ever put out for the Mass Effect trilogy, and it was basically a way to tie up the story and say goodbye to your squad mates in like a fun and silly way. The way that it's written is very much old sci-fi kind of tropes, but with like BioWare humor, and I adored this story. My favorite moment is if you romance Garrus Vakarian as FemShep, you can meet him at a bar and like role play and pretend you guys just met, and then you guys start like tango dancing on the dance floor, and it's just it's such a good moment. And the ending of that DLC, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's just such a sweet DLC, and it just, it is my favorite DLC of all time ever from any video game ever. And the last moment, of course, is the ending to Mass Effect 3, which a lot of people were disappointed by this ending when it came out. I personally wasn't super disappointed, but I appreciated that they put out free DLC later on to explain everything. It's just really emotional to see an entire journey end after like, I don't know, 80 plus hours of playing the whole trilogy. Mass Effect is an incredible game series that I hope everyone will give a shot, especially now that the Legendary Edition is out. I think it is so much better. They made a ton of improvements and it looks gorgeous and it's just a great series. So I hope everyone will try it. Which, by the way, 4th secret crying session. You've just unlocked the secret ending of this video. I got to be a part of a community council for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and the first time I ever saw my name in the credits of that game, I cried again. So we're just crying a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what game made you cry like a little baby boy. Just some little baby boy tears. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe or don't. I can't control you. You can live your own life. You have complete autonomy. Thank you, Fan House supporters, again for supporting the videos and allowing me to do what I love. It's because of you that I am able to make such okay videos. Thank you. Also, go donate to Charity Water. They are wonderful. If you like the video, maybe throw a couple bucks their way. That I will take that as a thank you. Join us next week when I talk about the top 10 games that gave me a rash. Okay, bye.